Welcome back, guys. Things just got real. Let's get right into the main topics. First, we got the U.S. carried out some strikes on Iran.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Pretty wild, right? Next, we got Trump might be getting nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
They can't give it to this guy now, right?
Bro, they say that they're going to nominate this guy, and literally hours later, he bombs Iran. Then, we'll give you an update on tariffs.
Yeah, wasn't this deal done in April?
The hell are you talking about, bro?
Bloomberg was reporting on it.
So
maybe
you're
this
reading
is all
into
just
that.
for show.
Oh, it's a plan, eh? Next, ChatGPT might be making you dumber.
Me specifically. Yeah, it's making everybody stupid.
And last, we got Sephora kids are using anti-aging creams.
Sephora kids. That's an oxymoron.
Is it? Anti-aging at 8.
Yeah, in sports, we got Jon Jones retired. I don't know where.
Go.
Bud Crawford and Canelo. They're going to be facing off in September, I believe.
I think it's one of the biggest boxing fights.
Oh, it's going to be a good one.
Right? On Netflix, too.
Yeah. Lakers sold for a record $10 billion.
Everyone's getting out of the business of basketball.
Seems like it.
Right?
LeBron had some opinions on ring culture.
Yeah. You can't get any, so you just shit on the culture.
I guess so. I don't know. And a couple of rats won the NHL Stanley Cup.
Rats, eh?
So for off topic, we'll talk about Nick Cannon, Justin Bieber, and a couple other things.
And stay tuned for the question segment at the end.
So, the U.S. carried out strikes on Iran.
Sure did.
And here's a clip of Donald Trump addressing the country right after.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Wow.
With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight, not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, and I want to just thank everybody.
So this guy was running on a campaign where he was saying that the U.S. Shouldn't be involved in any more wars, right?
Yeah. I think his second term's a lot different than the first one. He's famously said, "I'm the only president in 72 years that didn't have a single war."
Yeah.
He's got
the
a
first
couple.
time around. Yeah, like none of this was happening during Biden.
It wasn't, for sure.
But I think the major concern here is that most people don't want this to be an Afghanistan situation, right? Like you had them talking about WMDs. They go in, don't really find anything there, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like people are pretty divided on this, right?
Sure.
Like they were kind of on both sides of the thing.
It kind of does have that feeling a little bit with WMDs, because we don't know what intel they had or what exactly happened. I guess we'll find out in a couple days.
I mean, I see the online discourse kind of says that, but like when you listen to, I was listening to some of the stuff the foreign minister of Iran had to say.
Yeah.
And he's kind of talking about how like they're willing to negotiate their nuclear enrichment program, right? So there has to be something going on there, right? So it's not like it's not anything, right? And right after this thing happened, Iran didn't come out and say anything right away.
Yeah.
But I did see, I don't know if it's fake news, but I did see this Iranian news station or whatever saying that all it did was hit the entrance and exits and stuff, right? Like I don't know,
saying that it wasn't successful.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal or whatever, right? But so the main reason that the U.S. is getting involved, a lot of people, where I think the divide is because of the wars. I think the way that some of the right sees it, because I think even Republicans are divided on this, right? But the way that some of the right sees it is that there actually is no boots on the ground. You're sending in a couple of B2s, right? And you're getting the job done.
Yeah.
And then there's also the argument of, if Israel's military is so strong, right, then why did they need the U.S. at the end of the day?
Well, I think it's pretty clear now that they're both working together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even I saw a clip of BB. He came out and congratulated Trump on the attack, and he said something along the lines of, first you need strength and then you get peace. And then he said Trump acted with a lot of strength today. So I think the amount that they were meeting and everything, for sure, they both knew what was going on.
So this 2-week thing, you think he just throws that out there just to be like, yeah, we're giving you guys 2 weeks, and then boom, a surprise attack?
He likes to give timelines to things. It's like kind of his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also gave a timeline on the Russian war. That was supposed to be over day one, right?
Yeah, no, that didn't work out. But I think the whole reason why...
But we don't know if there's any casualties, right?
We don't, but like what the main, like Fordo, the nuclear site that they hit, it's like in the mountains, and the whole reason why they need this, the U.S., otherwise they would have been able to do it themselves, is because it's like buried underground, right? And B-2 bombers...
Like, why is it like that? It's like, what, 300 feet underground or something, right?
Yeah.
Why?
It's nuclear, right? To protect it from
It's
people.
not like a secret thing?
It is a secret thing. It's also to protect it from like Israel, right? Like Israel, you can't hit drone attacks and damage that, right? You need something like a B-2 bomber, right? Which is like a 30,000 ton bomber, right? Like it's capable of dropping those kind of bombs, right? I think B-2 bombers, I think there's like 19 or 20 of them in the world. Only the U.S. owns all of them. They cost $2 billion. All of them. The U.S. They cost around $2 billion to make. It's like one of the most sophisticated aircrafts. Period. Right?
That's why he was saying only we could carry out this attack, right? Because
it leaves. So this plane leaves from the U.S. And it can go anywhere without having to refuel, right? So there's nothing where it can get caught by radars because it has like these turbo engines to take away from the infrared, right? So it flies above radar. Like even a lot of, I don't even know if Russian radar can even detect a B-2, right? Like it's that sophisticated, right? So what they did was like when there was all those reports coming out that it's in Guam, the thing just took off, and it doesn't need to stop or refuel. It can go 6,000 kilometers.
That's what it
drop
was.
a couple of 30,000 ton bombs and just
fly back,
right? And I think like there's like two pilots on the whole thing, right? So the whole argument for people that are with it are kind of saying that like it's not really boots on the ground, it's a one-time attack, but the scary part of it all is how he's like, the next things are very easy. Like that's what he was saying.
Yeah, he said this is the hardest.
The threats.
Yeah. Which, I don't know. If you're Russia and you look at all of this, do you look at that and be like, oh, the U.S. is serious? Maybe we shouldn't
back off.
Yeah.
A bit of a scare tactic.
Ego they're going to have.
Yeah.
Like if you can look at that and be like, maybe we should have peace. But I feel like any normal person would be like,
right. Also, the irony of bombing a country and being like, now there will be peace.
Yeah.
That's what they're both saying.
So
they're like, peace comes after strength.
Yeah. And then like even
he's like, but just so you know, like it's gonna be worse if you don't agree.
Yeah.
It's such a threat.
I mean, if anyone can give that threat, it's the US, right?
Yeah.
And
the US with Israel together.
But even the Iranian, what's his name? The leader? Khomeini, yeah. He came out and said beforehand, he's like, if the U.S. gets involved at all, there will be irreparable consequences. So if they retaliate in any way, this thing's gonna get crazy.
Yeah, because a lot of U.S. citizens didn't even want the U.S. to be involved. So like, why does Trump just get to decide? Was it just him that decided?
On this, it was just him.
Yeah. Why? Like, isn't that kind of unfair?
Yeah.
Like, what if it leads them into a war and then everybody suffers?
So that's exactly what Bernie Sanders, that's the other argument of this thing. That's exactly what he was talking about. I think we have a clip of him. He live reacted to this thing because I think the tweet came in while he was on stage, ironically, talking about some sort of oligarchy rally. But
he just read the tweet.
I agree. And I want to tell you something. Not only is this news that I've just heard this second alarming, that all of you have just heard, but it is so grossly unconstitutional. All of you know that the only entity that can take this country to war is the U.S. Congress. The president does not have the right.
He's basically saying that the U.S. doesn't, congressionally, Trump didn't have the right, right, to go to war.
Yeah.
But I think if you can just check ChatGPT and ask it, did Trump have to get congressional approval for strikes on Iran? Let's see what comes up. But yeah, from what I know, the way that it basically works, from what I've read, is that there's, from Article 1 kind of says that you're, as long as like it's depending on the attack, right? As long as it doesn't, you can't call war, right? And like actually go to war.
Yeah.
But like depending on the attack, you're allowed to like carry out a single attack, right? I think they did it in Libya before. I think they did it in 2017 again in Afghanistan, maybe.
Yeah, this says that presidential military strikes, so such as Trump's strike on Iran, do not require prior congressional approval.
Okay. Sophia, can you pull it up on the screen? Yeah. Okay.
But there are important constitutional and statutory constraints.
Legality of Trump's strikes on Iran, no specific exits for striking Iran, actual political reactions, historically U.S. presidents.
Some presidents have done it too.
Trump's latest strike on Iran, nuclear sites not preceded by congressional. He did notify Congress post-strike, but okay. And what's the debate? So right there at the end. No, legally, he could authorize limited authority action under Article 2 powers and war powers revolution reporting rules. So he didn't have to.
Yeah.
Right, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
But what the main argument is going to be, I think where Bernie's coming from and where majority of the left is going to come from is that if this now goes to more attacks and they go to war, then he didn't have the right to do that. Right? And I think that's where they try to get him, right?
Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like, where do you actually go from here? It's kind of an act of war. It definitely is, right? And the threats afterward, it's like, if you retaliate, we'll see what happens, right?
I thought it was like a president. Yeah, the Congress needs to like agree to things, but the president still has rule over them. Like they can, at the end of it, be impeached because of it, but they can still decide.
Yeah,
like we're going to war.
Yeah.
I didn't know they actually need approval from Congress.
He has executive power to do certain things, right? And they have done them in the past.
But there's like limits to it.
Yeah, there's limits to it, right? Like you can't go to all-out war without going to it. But that's why he's saying the constitutional thing. But every president does it.
Yeah.
Right? Not every president, but they have done it in the past.
Right? Even Rubio was saying, he said that they tried the diplomatic route. They tried to come to an agreement, but then none of the Iranian leaders were willing.
What would be the agreement? Like, what do they want them to get rid of everything?
Yeah. Essentially, because most of the Western... Sorry?
How would they do that?
Well, you can't, like... Diplomatically, it's just an agreement.
Yeah.
Right? You can't enforce it in somebody else's country. You can't go and make sure they do it, but it's an understanding that they probably want them to stop making their nuclear
but there's other countries all over the world that have nuclear weapons. So why are other countries allowed to in Iran?
Because Iran has made... like, is a constant threat towards the West, right?
Yeah.
He explained it in his the addressing the union too. He was like, so many years you guys have said death to America, yada yada, things of that nature, right? No other countries out here using that type of rhetoric.
Well, the countries that do, like, first of all, there's superpowers. The 9 countries that have nuclear weapons are the US, Russia, France, China, the UK, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea, right? Yeah. And out of all,
we get one.
Huh?
Why can't Canada get one?
That's why we have the US.
F-35s. We're trying to get a golden dome.
That's why they
France has one.
That's why they always take care of Canada.
Yeah, I mean, the Europe, they have them because they've historically right. Canada's military is
it's what Trump says. It's what Trump says. We don't need them. We have the US.
Yeah.
That's literally why we don't have them.
So technically, we have.
Yeah. I mean,
a friend who has them.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the situation though, it is a little complicating, right? Sure. Because of where countries, allegiances lie.
Yeah,
right.
Some people are backing Iran. Not people. Some countries are backing Iran, right?
But even the EU was against it. They came out and said it. Their minister.
Well, the entire West has to be against it, right? Like if you're in Europe or you're Canada, like why would you be like it's okay for Iran to have nukes?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody who's like, look at what's going on there, right? What would stop them from then nuking Israel?
Not much, right?
I'm interested to see what happens in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully there's a diplomatic resolution.
Yeah.
But like from my understanding, like nukes are just mutually destructive. If like any country uses them, they're just kind of promising destruction for everyone, including themselves.
Yeah.
They are. Right. But
what's the point?
But there's people who don't really care about that kind of destruction, right?
They
like they think it's better, it's fine, right? Like rather than keep on getting attacked, right? That's just how they look at situations, right? Right.
Yeah.
But like to me, I feel like what would happen if they actually had nukes? Now you have somebody who's like so on, like you see the threats that they send, right? Yeah. That to America, all these things, right? Mm-hmm. And nukes are long range missiles, right? And everyone's making fun of this golden dome. What are you going to put in space or whatever? If you have nothing to protect against that and they launch one, you can't stop it.
All you can do is retaliate.
Yeah. All you can do is be like, all right, you're done too. And that's it.
That's the thing. That's the scariest thing about a nuke.
Yeah.
It's just, if someone actually drops one.
Yeah.
What else is going to happen? That's the beginning.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
What?
But yeah, let's move on to
Trump?
So he might get nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize by Pakistan.
By Pakistan of all places.
They posted on X saying, the government of Pakistan has decided to formally recommend President Donald J. Trump for the 2026 Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of his decisive diplomatic intervention and pivotal leadership during the recent India-Pakistan crisis.
That's crazy. This happened like just before the whole bombing, right?
Before the news started coming out about these bombers, there was like, I think this happened in the morning.
Yeah.
And then by the evening, you heard that these strikes had been carried out, right? So
obviously strange timing. Outside of like this whole Iran situation, he has riots happening in his country.
Yeah.
People calling him a dictator.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would be crazy to give somebody a peace prize, right?
I mean,
in that situation.
So I don't know. Right? Like before you saw this happen, there is a part of it where like who's won the Peace Prize in the past?
4 people. 4 presidents.
4 presidents.
4 presidents?
Yeah. We all know why he wants one though.
Yeah, we do know why he wants one. But I feel like Vice President too, Al Gore won one, right? For climate change.
Climate change, humanitarian efforts.
Obama won one.
Yeah, that's why he wants one.
That's why he wants one. He wants one just because Obama won one.
Yeah, it's a him versus Obama thing. But like if you look at even him, right? He said it like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
How
he's been saying it.
Yeah, he says it all the time. How he should have won one for the Abraham Accords. He should have won one for, he'll name, I think we even have a clip of him saying how many he should have won.
If you were to broker a deal where nuclear inspectors go into both Israel and Iran, that you could win a Nobel Peace Prize, and they might even rename it the Trump Peace Prize. Did you hear those? What do you think of that?
Well, they should give me the Nobel Prize for Rwanda and if you look, the Congo, or you could say Serbia, Kosovo, you could say a lot of them. You could say, the big one is India and Pakistan.
Maybe
I should have gotten it 4 or 5 times. I should get it for the I would think the Abraham Accords would be a good one. They won't give me a Nobel Peace Prize because they only give it to liberals.
That's giving like they don't want you to win.
They only give it to liberals.
But like, you guys remember the India situation with Pakistan, right? How quickly it escalated, and then like I think like a day later, he was the first one to be like, "We've been working all night, right? We got it done." And then
He was saying he got it done.
Yeah, he said the U.S. got it done, right? And then Pakistan actually acknowledged that. They're like, "Thank you, President Trump, for doing all this." India didn't say anything.
India didn't say a word. No.
But like, if he was involved and he gets that de-escalated, right? Like we were saying before, that did get de-escalated pretty quickly.
For sure.
Right? And I don't know how much of Donald Trump was actually involved in that, but like, if you look at the other people that have won them, right? First you look at what a Nobel Peace Prize even is, right?
Yeah.
It's named after Alfred Nobel. Right? And they hand them out every year. There's 6 categories: physics, chemistry, psychology, medicine, literature, and peace. Right? And then you look at the presidents that have won. Teddy Roosevelt won one. Woodrow Wilson, Jimmy Carter, he won one after his presidency, right? Not even during. And then, like we were saying, Al Gore, right? That like, when I see some of the things that they've won them for, I'm not trying to say that they don't deserve them or whatever, but humanitarian efforts and climate change, that's what Al Gore got it for. Right? The climate change, that's still going on.
That never really happened.
So then if you can make an argument that he stopped a war between Pakistan and India, right? And that's what Pakistan's nominating him for. Right? But I know why he wants it.
I know exactly why he wants it, right? It's because Obama has one. He's been in this thing about, he never stops talking about Obama, right? So Obama won in 2009, just 9 months after taking office. That's pretty quick, right?
There's a bias though, like a president giving a president a Nobel Peace Prize. It's probably easier.
What do you mean?
Than like any Joe Blow getting
a president a Nobel Peace Prize in general.
Like I couldn't go get one.
No, you wouldn't be able to.
Did Greta? I was gonna say,
I think she got one.
She got a Peace Prize?
I think so.
Maybe.
I don't know. But the reason this guy won it is extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. So the key reasons why he won: a vision for a world without nuclear powers. Emphasis on multilateral diplomacy. Who doesn't want to agree with every country, right? You want to do that. And diplomacy with other nations at the EU. These are like some of the things that they highlighted, right? And he was criticized, obviously, because people were like, he won based on aspirations and not anything that he actually did. Because he didn't.
That's what it sounds like.
He didn't actively do anything. So what you're saying, Trump did some stuff.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can make fun of him, right? But like, if you're gonna talk about if this Iran thing didn't happen, and even this, right? Like, we're shooting this pod. There's gonna be some developments that happen on that side, right? There's gonna be some reports they're gonna have in the morning. A bunch of things are gonna happen, right? So who knows where this thing's gonna go? Right. If it does actually stop them from retaliating, and now this Iran situation's over, and there's no nuclear, weapons that they're, developing there. Be kind of stopping something on that front, right? And on the other side, this Pakistan-India thing, he did de-escalate it quickly enough where you can then argue, because of what other people have gotten them for, that he should maybe deserve one.
That's the whole thing.
I
but
could see it. It should be acknowledged.
It's weird that his country is calling him a dictator.
And
then he just dropped bombs on another country, and you're giving him a peace prize.
Yeah,
but part of it's crazy, but I
dropping
do get
bombs, asking for peace.
He's asking for peace, though. He's asking.
Peace
now there will be peace. Just bomb a country.
There better be peace.
Yeah, he's demanding peace.
Sounds peaceful,
right? He's really peaceful.
But a lot of these presidents got him for doing nothing, man. I just think it's his constant effort to one up Obama and Biden and their whole administration. Because he's been talking about since his first term, I need a peace prize. If you go back and you look at his tweets, just do Control F, peace prize, it pops up so much. He mentions it all the time.
It's just manifestation.
Well, he might end up getting one. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, I see the left is obviously going to have a problem with it, but like a part of the left is also... Like, I don't know if you saw over the last few days, he's been posting his approval ratings. He's like 56%.
Oh, they're going up?
According to Rasmussen and some right-leaning polls, they are, right? Left-leaning polls are not.
Polling.
I mean, and then on the other side of it, I feel like the left does protest all the time,
For sure.
right? And it's not like
Everywhere.
everywhere. And it's not like a
Every
whole bunch of people
Yeah.
don't agree with him,
Yeah.
right? And whoever's in, like you saw this when Biden was in office too, that whoever's guy isn't in office, that team's always allowed it,
Yeah.
right? If you have the guy that you like right now, right? I didn't vote for Mark Carney. It's easy to criticize him.
For sure. Yeah.
Right, I didn't vote for him, right?
Yeah.
But I'll acknowledge anything that he does well too,
Yeah,
which I
yeah.
feel like other people
That's what people
sometimes
don't
can't
do.
be. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. But I mean, yeah,
We'll see how it develops, but it'd be crazy to think this guy gets a Peace Prize.
really, I wouldn't be.
I'm not shocked now. Now that you say things like what you were saying about the India-Pakistan thing.
Yeah.
I think
And then if peace comes from Iran.
Peace from
if
China.
this ends up in a war and he's arguing a
Then
peace prize, then
for
this is
sure.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
right? But I don't know. It's definitely a little weird,
It's crazy how that just came out and then
right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hours apart, the irony.
Do you know how it's picked? Like the winner or whoever wins?
Yeah, there's a committee, you know.
There's a committee
Panel.
of
Yeah.
only 5
Yeah, it's 5
members.
people. Yeah,
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
yeah,
They get to just
I mean, the
choose?
Supreme Court doesn't have that many judges either.
right. They decide crazy
Mm.
things.
They decide a lot of things.
You
Yeah.
even get like some sort of a diploma. You get a medal.
You get $1 million.
They give you
Oh,
money.
wow.
Yeah, it's because
I mean, he
Yeah.
doesn't need $1 million.
Obama got 1.4. I think
Oh, it's more?
he donated it.
I think it's
Oh.
because Alfred Nobel, like when he died, he put it in his will, right? That he
Oh.
wanted to
Donate it?
he was donating his will to something like that. He was donating his will to people who are exceptional in certain fields or
Okay,
whatever,
okay.
right? That's at least from what I know.
Yeah.
I'm
I think.
basing all my info on Friends
Mhm.
and The Big Bang Theory. I don't actually know. That's the only 2 times the Nobel pieces come up.
Really? It seems like
Only
every
nerds
president
talk
was
about
one.
it. Yeah, because like if you are gonna get a peace prize, it's probably gonna be when you're a world leader, right? It's probably the shot that you have at it.
Strength through peace.
But yeah, let's move on to I don't know what you just said. Canada, U.S. tariffs. Here's a clip of Mark Carney talking about reciprocal tariffs coming in 30 days.
Morning, I, with colleagues, met with President Trump to discuss international priorities as part of the G7, but also to further negotiate a new economic and security partnership between Canada and the United States. And as we've said repeatedly, we'll take all the time we need to get the best deal for Canada, but no longer. And seeing progress that's been made, President Trump and I agreed to pursue negotiations towards a deal within the coming 30 days. We'll continue these negotiations, of course, in good faith. In parallel, we must reinforce our strength at home and safeguard Canadian workers and businesses from the unjust U.S. tariffs that exist at present. And that's why we're announcing that Canada will be introducing a series of countermeasures to protect Canadian steel and aluminum workers and producers. And there's several, and I'm going to list them. First, Canada will adjust its existing counter tariffs on U.S. steel and aluminum products on the 21st of July, at the end of that 30-day period, in other words. We're going to adjust them to levels consistent with the progress that's made at that point on the broader trading arrangements with the United States. Secondly, we will implement reciprocal procurement rules, ensuring that only Canadian producers and producers from trading partners that provide Canada with tariff-free reciprocal access through trade agreements can compete for federal government procurement of steel and aluminum.
Well, essentially, this guy is giving Trump, 30 days to come up with a deal? I don't know how seriously he takes that. Like, even at the G7.
Yeah.
You see the clip of him? They interviewed him. They asked him a couple questions. He's just like, I don't know, man. He's like, I'm a tariff person.
Yeah.
I'm a simple person. Tariff, simple.
Yeah.
Taxes.
Yeah.
He's like, Mark, he has a very complex idea. Still good,
Yeah.
but complex.
Yeah. That's exactly what
He's just a tariff man on a tariff land, right? That's all he ever says.
Yeah.
So I don't know how seriously Trump takes that threat.
Well, when he says that, like he's trying to say that Carney's plan is probably a free trade plan, right?
And a bunch of
there's
contingencies.
exactly, right? Whereas Trump is saying tariff for tariff, kind of thing, which he's just saying that to say it, right? Like if they're negotiating a deal, isn't that like this 30-day thing? Isn't that when this little pause thing that he did that's when it's expiring anyway?
I think that it lines up.
That's why they're doing it, right? And in that time period, they'll probably renegotiate something. If
I'm
they
thinking
don't,
they actually get a deal done.
yeah, if they don't, you'll probably see them push it a little further, right? All actually, like even here, right? Like, what are you supposed to do? Reciprocal tariffs are called for, right? Even if you didn't vote for Mark Carney, like, what are you gonna do here, right? You have to give reciprocal tariffs, right? Like, you can't just be like no tariffs. We're just gonna sit around. But on the other side of it, like the G7 stuff, there was a lot of people that were like, "Yeah, man, Carney handled that so well, right? Like he's killing it, right?"
Yeah, Philadelphia.
When in reality,
that like
the Philadelphia thing.
Yeah, the
why
comparison.
He acts like him.
Yeah, but like, why do people like it? It's not a good thing that your prime minister like Philadelphia.
Exactly. Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah. Oh, people like it that he acts like him.
People are like proud of it, and I'm like,
I thought it was a joke against him.
Oh, I'm making fun of him when I say it, right? Like, like to me, I feel like he's like people. When he ran his campaign, he painted this picture like, "Oh, I'm gonna go fight Trump," right?
Yeah.
And then when Trump comes here during the G7, he's just ass kissing the
entire time,
right? The entire time, he's like, "Your leadership, with your leadership, we'll do this. You're so integral," which you have to do, sure, right? But like, if you convinced in all of Canada that like I'm gonna beat Trump, right? And then Trump just gets there and he's like, one of the first things he says is like, "Yeah, Russia should be here. This was the G8 originally." Trudeau, I'm paraphrasing here, right? But he's like, Trudeau, he's a stupid man. He's like, he left out. He's like, he left out Russia. Russia should be here right now. But that didn't even happen during Trudeau's, when Trudeau's prime minister happened during Harper.
Take a shot at him.
Right, he didn't even know. Trump doesn't even know shit. He just says it, right? Like it happened during Harper. But I do feel like what Carney's doing is the way to, I guess, finesse Trump is by just being like, yeah, man, you're so right. We need you. Everyone knows that he likes his flattery, right? That's kind of how he is, right? And then negotiate a deal, right? But if you're going to give this attitude that I'm the right guy and I'm going to put Trump in check, you're not putting anyone in check, bro.
That's the part that's deceiving.
Yeah. Like if you're going to act that way, then be that way. And if you weren't going to be that way, then don't act that way.
Why'd you run on it, right?
Right?
Well, it might have got him elected.
Yeah, if I'm going to look at policy, I don't, in this situation, particularly trade negotiations aside, as a person, it seems like Trump really hated Trudeau for whatever reason. He didn't like him. I don't know what it was, but like, I feel like ever since
Melania?
Say that. Did you see that meme?
Who knows, man? Who knows? But ever since Trudeau came into office, Trump did not like it. And ever since he's been gone, all he does is shit on Trudeau.
It's that picture, man. He saw that picture. That's all.
Whatever it is, man.
But the response is, it's right. And the other part of it, he's just taking a page out of Trump's book. He's like, build in Canada, you won't get taxed. Yeah. Trump's been saying that forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of what Carney does. I also like the biggest thing that's upsetting to me was the way that he became prime minister, the timing of it, how Trudeau resigns, they wait till the polling numbers are good, they convince a country, they hijack basically the election, turn it into a tariff war election, and then he becomes prime minister. So to me, I'll never respect that, ever, right? But like, I could still be objective about like trade negotiations and be like, that's what you should be doing.
This is the right thing to do.
What else would you do here, right?
Just cave.
So was that the main thing that came out of this G7 summit?
Well, UK got a deal.
Yeah.
Right? And then...
percent blanket or something.
Something like that. Yeah. And then, other than that, he was talking to Canada, but then he was like, he's got some stuff to deal with the Middle East. I guess we knew, feeling up the B2s.
You know why? That's what they're planning.
Yeah. But I think let's move on to ChatGPT. Is making you dumber, apparently. So a team of neurologists at AI specialists at MIT Media Lab has led a study looking into the brain impacts of large language model use among people who engage with them for study or work. Over the past few years, the use of LLMs such as ChatGPT has become commonplace. Some use them for fun, while others use them to help with school or work responsibilities. And the team at MIT wondered what sort of impact LLM use might have on the brain. To find out, they recruited 54 volunteers. The initial group was split into 3 small groups, all of whom asked to write a 20-minute essay on the topic of philanthropy. One group was asked to use ChatGPT for help. The second was asked to use Google search. And the third, brain only. Groups was given no tools or resources at all. The participants remained in the same groups for 3 writing sessions. Each of the volunteers was fitted with EEGs. For these first 3 sessions, the EEG analysis showed clear differences in brain connectivity between the groups. The brain-only group showed the strongest and most widespread brain network activity. The search engine group showed intermediate levels, and the ChatGPT group showed the weakest overall brain connectivity. And then I think the concerning part here is out of the 54 volunteers, 18 also returned months later to complete a 4th session. Those who had used ChatGPT now went the brain-only route, and vice versa. In this session, those who had originally used ChatGPT in the first 3 sessions showed weaker neural connectivity, while those from the previous brain-only demonstrated higher memory recall.
Damn.
Pretty crazy what he's saying.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So it is essentially making you dumber.
Yeah,
Like
I think it makes
scientifically based.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I think it's obvious. Like if you just rely on something so much, you get dumber, right?
Yeah.
What else is gonna happen? You're not thinking for yourself, right?
You're not really learning it. It's just
Yeah.
like regurgitating the information. You're just
I mean, it
using
could
it.
be used as a resource.
Yeah, if
But
you
it-
are actually using it.
Yeah.
to learn.
I think that's the way it's intended to be
Mhm.
used, but I don't think like if you give anybody the ability to like cheat, you're just gonna start doing it and relying on it, right?
I mean, I think it definitely makes things easier, but like you guys are saying, if you solely depend on it,
Yeah.
Yeah,
then it's probably going to lead to some sort of cognitive decline, right?
100%. Like
I mean, go ahead.
just learning concepts,
Yeah.
problem solving. I think
Mhm.
retention's huge.
Mm.
Like retaining things.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for me personally, even if I read something versus if I write it down, I will remember what I read
Yeah, yeah.
more than what I wrote down more than what I read, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I feel like there is something in psychology. It's called passive and active learning, right? Which
Okay.
is like if you're actively learning something versus if you're passively learning something, right?
Yeah.
But basically, I feel like it forces when you're writing it, it forces you to analyze what you're writing and kind of put it into your own words.
Yeah.
So then you end up remembering it,
Yeah.
right? Versus like when you read it, you just kind of read it all up, right?
Yeah. I also feel like, do you guys ever talk to people and you can just tell they read an article or a headline because they won't have any depth to their reasoning or
Yeah.
anything? It's just like
Mm.
spitting out facts,
Mm.
right? I feel like that's what ChatGPT does, because even like news sources, they just use ChatGPT,
Mm.
take the headline,
Mm.
and that's what people do. They don't like look into things or source things; they just say it, right?
Yeah, there's even this thing called the generation effect, right? Where you only remember, where you're more likely to remember what you created yourself, right?
Yeah.
So like you generated it,
Okay.
right? So whenever you're writing
That makes a
something
lot of sense.
or you're writing an essay or you're doing anything, right? Because even though you read something and you're kind of regurgitating, you're putting it into your own words. So your brain analyzes that way,
Yeah.
right? There's also these things that people do with names. Like remember how Sophia always forgets names? As people get older, what they do is when somebody introduces themselves to you
Call me out for being old.
for first time, what you usually do is like you'll see people say the name back to the person, and then they'll be like, "Oh, so what do you do?" Like ask them a question so
Yeah.
you can tie that to the name, so the
Yeah.
next time your brain kind of
Notice that
registers
because
that.
it's like almost an annoying way that they'll say your name like 5 times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, you're trying to remember my
Yeah.
name.
It's like, what was that again? Oh, what do you
Yeah.
like?
Oh, so okay, you're the podcaster.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
That's what you guys do,
But
right?
talking
Like,
about ChatGPT, so there was actually just a student
yeah,
that used it for their final projects,
yeah.
Okay.
and obviously passed. So this was his graduation.
Showing his test.
Oh, that's cool. Is he like If he cheated, right?
Because he cheated.
Yeah.
ChatGPT.
That's
He
great.
has
UCLA
finals.
graduate.
Yeah.
Showing that he did all his final projects on ChatGPT.
That's wild.
I know how it's like hard to detect that now, right? But like to me personally, I can kind of tell when somebody's used ChatGPT. Like, obviously everyone knows about the hyphens, right?
Yeah.
Whenever they put hyphens instead of commas or the way. But there's even a sentence structure that they use, kind of, right? It's like an XY kind of thing. Like they'll say like this and this
I think they just
equals
need
this.
to evolve school programs, courses, so that they're more AI. I don't know how.
Yeah.
But I think it needs to evolve somehow because that's where we're headed.
It's got to be a resource, like a learning tool.
Like going to nobody goes to the library to like look up something.
Yeah.
They use chat. So they need to evolve these courses.
Yeah.
To somehow include that as a resource.
I think it's like complicating more than that because I feel like if you're the way that you're then evaluating IQ would change then, right?
Yeah.
Because like if you're no longer
right, change.
Yeah, but if there's some basic concepts of like, when you're in school that if you're not learning them and you're getting ChatGPT to do them, you probably don't have the IQ to
just like even
do
deductive
certain
reasoning.
Yeah.
You probably miss out on that, right? Like, that
or
didn't
even
make
critical
sense.
thinking. Right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like sometimes people don't pick up on critical thinking in school, but later on in life when they're faced with problems. They learn how to, become good critical thinkers. Right?
Yeah.
That's why you'll even see people who are high school dropouts or even college dropouts, right? They'll become successful later on in life, right? Because while they're there, maybe, I don't know, they're not into those school programs that they're into and they're not thinking critically enough or care enough to, pursue that career. And then later on in life, they learn the critical thinking skill. Right.
Yeah.
And then they become successful.
Sure.
Right. But I feel like if you're constantly going to rely on ChatGPT, it is weird, man. And especially the memory recall stuff. Like we all know people who will write emails right? And they try to sound smarter and like, buddy, you don't know what the hell you just wrote. Like, I know you don't know half the words that are in that email.
I know you got this from ChatGPT.
Right. Especially like when you read like a bunch of Instagram captions. And now they're just wild, right? Like I feel like people type certain things to get certain keywords, and when they're so lazy, when the hyphens are all in there, I'm just like, "What are you doing, man?"
Hey, you don't know grammar like that.
Yeah, and even like, but I even saw online there's a bunch of influencers now, not a bunch, but some, right, that are showing you how to make ChatGPT not sound like ChatGPT.
Oh wow!
Right? They'll talk about sentence fragment and how the AI is using it versus Grok and like what their models are and how you can see that somebody clearly used ChatGPT even when they really try to hide it. You can.
So that's critical thinking.
Yeah, that is. That
critical thinking, right? Yeah. At least you know what ChatGPT sounds like. But go ahead.
I feel like even the models, LLMs, they're gonna adapt. They'll get better, right? They're gonna get better. They're already getting better. Every time there's improvement.
To me personally, I can't always tell. I can't.
I don't even know that hyphen thing you're talking about.
You don't know it?
No,
it's just
if you try it on ChatGPT, like tell it to write you a paragraph, it's gonna write some hyphens.
It's just gonna have hyphens. Whereas like a normal person, you don't type.
You wouldn't double hyphen something. You'd put a comma.
Yeah.
And all your sentences aren't gonna be like X, Y equal kind of sentences.
Yeah.
That's usually how it frames its entire way of like writing paragraphs.
Yeah.
What about the bias?
What about it?
Doesn't ChatGPT hasn't been shown to have a bias, like lean one way?
Maybe politically.
Yeah.
It says weird stuff.
Yeah, it does say weird things.
Yeah.
But if you're just asking it like a simple fact question, I don't know that
fact.
No, but even facts can be
manipulated,
right? And like even like Google was criticized of this, right? Of like whenever you search something, certain things would show up at the top, right?
Yeah.
Whoever goes to page number 2 on Google, nobody. Right?
Nobody's going to page.
No.
You go to page 2?
I have gone
10 years ago.
No, like
I don't think I've ever gone
recently.
Yeah.
Then you just typed the wrong question, man.
No, like sometimes if I'm looking for like a store or I'm looking for like an outfit or a dress or something, I'll see what's on the next.
No, but that's good. That means you're doing your research.
I'm gonna be completely honest.
I just go 1, 2, 3. If it's not there, change my search.
A lot of the 1, 2, 3s are just ads. Like they're just like I know that they paid to do that.
Yeah.
So I have.
That's the other thing. ChatGPT is gonna eventually evolve into an advertisement model.
Yeah, we
right?
talked about that last time.
Yeah.
So then, what do you do from there? Right? It's gonna get incredibly.
Then there's a clear bias.
Yeah. A very clear
But
bias.
that's our future. So something needs to change otherwise.
We're all getting dumb. We're gonna keep getting dumber and dumber.
I mean, people from MIT are telling us they're a lot smarter than us. They're like, hey, guys.
Are they? Or are they using ChatGPT?
Well, like things like, okay, long division. Does it really help you in life?
No, but
Writing
nobody.
it down and
No, for sure. But
Yeah.
scientific calculators, like you're doing calculations that you wouldn't have been able to do anyways, right?
Scientific calculator, those big ass.
I
So
hated
that-
those things. Man.
Yeah, and they taught us how to use those. Remember back in the day,
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
So-
Such an easy tool
Yeah.
to cheat with. You could just input all the answers.
but I don't know, man. Like I do feel like certain tasks, you're starting to see a lot of people who are learning how to use AI correctly.
Yeah.
Right, and are using it as a tool to enhance whatever business or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of people who just do a bunch of weird shit on there, right? Like you'll see, like,
final exam.
you know what I've been seeing in my algorithm? Those gorillas. Have you guys been seeing?
So
my God,
many.
everywhere.
Oh my god!
Why
Trends are so
gorillas?
crazy.
I don't know. He'll be like with a Yeti. Have you
Yeah,
seen that
yeah.
page? He'll be like, "Hey, what are you doing?" There's like a
They have different accents, different
Yeah.
languages.
I've seen one talking Punjabi. I swear, I did.
that's crazy.
Yeah. It's funny.
Those AI videos are getting wild. They're getting
They
better,
are.
better and better.
They are.
Yeah.
It's just messing up a little bit now, and I feel like it's gonna get dangerously close, right? And even those, like I saw a Simpsons one, I think the other day, right,
Yeah.
where they show like a real life Simpsons thing, and I was looking at it and I saw the comments. They're like, "Oh, I saw an extra Smithers hand come in," right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, guys, the actors in this are completely fake.
Yeah.
Right. And like this thing looked like a trailer too. If there was actually a story and somebody developed that I would watch it. Right. Like in my head, I'm like, how far are we from a entire AI movie?
We're not.
We're
I don't
not.
think we're that far.
Right.
But you would like that? I think like artistic people are really against that, like
Yeah.
writers,
They are.
like
Yeah.
directors,
Musicians,
actors.
everything.
Because it affects their money.
Yeah, that's one. And then human connection, I feel like, is a big one. Right.
That-
But if there's somebody who's, I would imagine right now how it's going to work. If there's somebody who's using AI, you still need to have a creative mind to take it places and like for it to, develop certain visuals or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like whenever I'm using it, I'm incredibly descriptive. If I
Yeah.
wanted to like throw out a picture or whatever, it's like a paragraph I'll
have to
put there,
tell it
right,
exactly
to
what
get
to
like
But everything kind of involves, like, for example, movies, right? Think about
Mhm.
the first Jurassic Park. I think there was actual like dinosaur heads. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
And then it turned to
yeah.
CGI.
CGI, yeah.
So then it's going to turn to something else. It's just kind of like the way it works.
For me, I feel like a movie would not bother me if I didn't know.
Yeah.
It's same thing with like when you're saying you read something and you're like, I could tell you use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Mm.
If I watched a movie and I had no clue,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it'll bother me. I think that'd be fine.
Lion King, when they were like talking and shit. It's like how they get them to do that?
They just trained a lion to like move its mouth. But yeah, shall we move on to there's kids that are using anti-aging cream, right? So a new study published in Pediatrics this month, the first peer-reviewed paper of its kind, found that skincare solutions promoted on TikTok not only offer little to no benefit for children and teens, but they can actually be harmful. The authors in the study analyzed 100 unique videos by content creators between the ages of 7 and 18, and with an average of 1.1 million views each, on average, each regimen featured 6 products totaling about $230 Canadian. On the higher end of the scale, some of the girls used more than a dozen products on their faces, the author said. Younger skin is typically more sensitive to ingredients like alpha hydroxy acids and retinoids, can cause irritation, drying, peeling, dermatitis. It can actually sensitize their skin and give them a lifelong allergy to an ingredient. The trend also creates a dependency where kids think they need a 10-step routine when really they just need a gentle cleanser and a moisturizer and a sunscreen.
Is that normal to put like 12 things on your face?
So I've been seeing this trend. It's so weird to me because I'll see like little kids doing their whole like routine. I don't even want to watch it because I don't want to watch a video of a little kid.
Yeah.
But so there's a brand at Sephora called Drunk Elephant. Even though they specify that they don't advertise to kids, everyone knows that's a tween sort of kid brand.
That's
like I would never buy Drunk Elephant for that reason. I just know that. But it seems like they're promoting their products towards these little kids. So they're buying these like retinoids, like you were saying, these things really like a kid has so much collagen. So that's what, when you grow up, you want a lot of collagen, you want it all back, you drink it, you like use products to get it all back. But these kids are using these products now. Their face is full of it. They're plump full of collagen. They don't need it. So it's like causing so much irritation to their skin. It's damaging their skin too early. Like just you were saying, like all those BPAs or whatever it is. It's not good for kids to use. And on the, like, for example, they'll be like, don't use it before you're 12 years old. But these little kids are using it.
Even like looking into the story, I was seeing it.
Like
little kids. Man.
And people are getting mad at Sephora for selling it to them even, which I agree with. But there should be, like, don't sell it to an 8-year-old.
Unless your mom's dumb enough to buy it for you.
That's probably what it is.
That's
like
probably
what
it
is buying it, right?
I mean, I see the physical cost, but I feel like a big part of this is also the psychological cost.
For sure.
Right? Like low self-esteem issues, right? Like you see people as they age, right? Like at first you don't really care about your hair, your skin, and then you start getting older, right? And you're like, right? Like this shit's getting bad.
Learning about collagen. And
so then you start stressing about these things, right? And then you see what happens, right? With the Kardashians and everywhere, plastic surgery.
That's what it is.
Right? We're saying Kris Jenner and all that. You don't need to be worrying about any of that as a kid. Right?
It's like younger and younger. Like even I think about what I look like at prom and what kids look like at prom now. Wild difference.
I mean, to me, I feel like there is a part of this where, like, I think some parents think about just screen time. Right? Like look at these kids. They're like 8. Right? 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, and you're talking about screen time. I think it's more than that, right? Like, I think you gotta be an influential figure in your kid's life, right? And be like, oh, this
they don't need
stuff
to find
is kind of stupid. Otherwise, you think kids aren't going to find influencers that they like and just do it?
That's what this thing is. I think it just lines up perfectly with that. The influencers online, the celebrities that are all online, constantly pushing out this, oh, you got to look a certain way, whatever, right? And even on TikTok, I think it's the get ready with me's, because a bunch of kids are on TikTok and these girls love doing this get ready with me,
and they're like young kids doing it. And even like you're saying the Kardashians, like their Kardashian kids will go on and do these like skincare get ready with me, like
that's what
Kim's daughter,
they're making money,
Kourtney's daughter, and they'll use like Kylie stuff, like little girls. They're like 10, 12 years old.
They don't need to be doing
everything. Even Kylie recently, she tweeted out what plastic surgery she's gotten.
I saw that.
Well, thank you for telling us, like, so that we know. But you're promoting plastic surgery. She's still really young. Like, she's a mother. That's cool. But
I mean, if you're an
plastic
adult,
surgery is not taboo anymore.
But she was lying about it for so many years. So is it better that she came clean now?
I swear Kim did a whole episode on it, right? How she has a real ass or something. Didn't she do that?
That's the episode that Indy remembers.
Didn't she do that? I thought
she did, with an x-ray of her butt.
Oh, right.
About this.
I mean, if
it's just scary to think, like, we also have a daughter. I don't want her going down this route where she feels
for sure
needs to do these type of things or put these type of things on her skin. And
the crazy part is, first you're monitoring what your kids are doing online.
It just gets crazier.
On this, like, isn't parenting hard enough? I'm asking some parents, right?
I mean, if you don't look into this stuff and you don't monitor, you have to create the time.
You don't know that this is even a thing.
That's why
we're doing the research. We're finding stuff like this. Like, I wouldn't necessarily, or I'm on social media, so I see these weird videos. But like,
if your 7-year-old has a phone, how does your 7-year-old get on TikTok and Instagram? How?
They shouldn't have access, right?
They shouldn't have a phone.
You can cut the access, right? Like, because for you to do this kind of stuff and like scroll, you need constant access. It's not just like when you have computer time for homework and stuff, right?
Sure.
Like, you shouldn't, like, I even like this thing, I brought it up before, where there was this dad talking about it online somewhere. He was like, at night he gets all the electronic devices and puts them in a safe, right? And none of the kids are allowed to use them. In the morning they can use them, because at night when the parents go to sleep, these kids just do whatever the hell they want, right? And putting them in airplane mode or whatever, kids know how to bypass all of those controls or whatever. They're not dumb, right? And like,
it's not a bad idea unless you're trying to set an alarm.
What do you mean?
What are you gonna do?
Get an alarm clock.
Alarm clock.
Yeah. That's an argument that your daughter's gonna say when you're gonna be like, "Oh, true. Here's your phone."
You got parents also. Parents also lock up in that scenario. The parents also locked up their phone. No,
those parents are crazy. Like, I need my phone, right? Like, but like, I'm not a kid.
Clock? Yeah, why not?
Yeah, no, because a bunch of things can happen, right? Like, you need your phone. Right,
you know, like the sunlight alarm clock, so it like lights up like the sun, so it lights up your room.
That'll never wake me up.
No, I need a.
That'll never wake me up.
Pretended alarm clock is so annoying, and it's every 10 minutes.
Oh,
That was an evil laugh.
He sets like 5 of them for 10 minutes apart.
When she sees me setting them, she's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "Yo,
Just in case, right?
I can't get up otherwise, man." And you know how bad it
feel
is? Like, there's even
I
studies.
have to wake you up by the end of it.
There's even studies done that say that instead of doing that, you should just set it half an hour, ahead, because
and it's bad to snooze. You're ruining your sleep.
the REM sleep's over.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you do that, you just wake up more tired.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I know this, and I still do it. So I don't know what that says, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's ChatGPT making us dumber. Maybe we're already there.
It's the lesson.
But yeah, that's it for the main topics. Let's move on to sports.
Yeah, some big news coming out of the sports world. Out of left field a little bit, maybe not. Jon Jones officially retired.
Yeah.
So we do have a clip. Dana White was talking about it.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Let's be honest. And since I won that fight, he's gone completely quiet. And he'll continue to go completely quiet about me until he retires, because there's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him.
Dana came out and said it.
Yeah.
Right? Because everybody was wondering about it forever. And then the second clip, the second half of it, kind of started going viral because he's like, I'm going to retire without fighting him. Or I'm going to retire him without fighting him.
Yeah, but he's just painting a narrative, right? Like, Aspinall had everything to gain. Jon Jones had everything to lose.
Yeah.
Right? And people have called out Jon Jones his whole career.
Yeah.
He's been fighting for 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've been a fan of the guy ever since the Matt Hamill 12-6 elbows. That
very first
the DQ. I think they might have removed it because they said those elbows are now legal.
Yeah.
But like,
stupid rule.
Yeah, I mean, the Aspinall thing, sure, right? People wanted him to fight Ngannou. Ngannou left, right? And then he wins a heavyweight belt, and Aspinall wins, right?
Yeah.
Could he have beat Aspinall? Sure. Could he have lost? Sure.
Yeah.
Right. But would he have trained and went there? Sure. Or they were even talking about Pajeda, a super fight, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Jon Jones, if anyone in the sport deserves to retire when they want to, is Jon Jones. He's put in enough work. He's carried the UFC for long enough.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know. To me, where does he fall on your GOAT list? Where would you put him? Number one, right?
Without thinking about it.
I mean, there's thinking about it.
No, not for me.
Right?
No. When it comes to UFC, you're talking about or sports world?
No.
UFC is 100% he's a GOAT.
I agree with you, but like the names that you're skipping over, GSP, Anderson Silva, Khabib, right, Mighty Mouse.
I don't think they have the catalog and what he's done and how long he's been relevant. That's what he was I think he was mentioning it on, did you see him on the Nelk podcast? He was on that podcast. I think we have a clip of it.
Italian phrase, came, saw, and conquered. That's genuinely how I feel. It's been great, man. Life's been so amazing. You saw the way that I just didn't get into that conversation at all.
What's that?
I didn't get into that question at all with you. It was just
not really.
Just curved it.
What do you make of like Tom Aspinall and all the things that he's been saying about you?
I think he's awesome, man. I think he's awesome. I think he should go on and have a wonderful career.
Do you think that he needs you?
No, I think he needs me. I think when you want something bad enough, and if you get it, it could be the worst thing that could ever happen to you. I'm in a spot right now where I'm really enjoying the fruits of my labor, all the hard work I put in. He's not in a position. He's not in a position to like excite me. It's just the truth. Because if I whoop his ass, gonna be this. It's gonna be the next guy. There's gonna be a whole new fan base of somebody who everybody believes in. I've done this my whole adult life. I remember Rampage fans years ago.
That's crazy.
Shot fans and Leoto fans. I literally have replayed this story so many times in my life.
Yeah, he was kind of saying when you hear that and then he retires. I think that came out like 2 days ago. Those clips. He sounded like a guy that was done, and he has nothing left to prove. I think that's where he's at, and he is right. If he beats this guy, somebody else is gonna come up. Like, where do you call it quits?
With the Aspinall situation, the way that Dana White looked, he seemed kind of pissed.
Yeah,
right.
He looked mad, right?
Yeah. So if I'm just taking a guess out, guess out here. But like what I'm thinking is Jon Jones deserves the bag. He probably wanted the bag for the Aspinall fight. He didn't get the bag. Right. He didn't get what he thought he was going to get. So he's like, this isn't worth my time. I'd rather just retire.
Yeah.
Maybe Dana was saying BS, called his bluff. And he retired.
Yeah.
Who knows? That could have happened.
He did come out on Twitter and say it. So it's definitely official that he's done. But
I mean, I thought it was always going to be one more fight after his last fight that he would retire. Right. But I didn't know if it was going to end up being Aspinall or not.
No, Aspinall's just a what if, and that's annoying. But
Nah, man. Like, what are you going to do? If he beat Aspinall, like he's saying, there would have been somebody else, right? And there's no perfect story.
At some point, you got to.
And all that happens when you stick around long enough, they taint your legacy.
Yeah.
Right? And then you lost. One loss for what?
Yeah.
Right? Unless like you're getting paid $30 million, and do you take that out?
I think that's all it really was. He just wasn't willing to offer the money. But then we also got a pretty big fight coming up in the boxing world. Bud Crawford and Canelo.
Yeah.
They had their first presser.
How damaging would that be to the Canelo brand?
He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna beat me. Don't worry about it. I think this fight is gonna be in the books of the history of boxing for sure. That's for sure.
For sure, them belts coming with me. They coming home with me. I'm telling you.
You can see
They're
it.
so chill.
They're so mellow.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be difficult. You take it to your mom.
I'm taking it.
Ain't nothing you gonna be able to do about it. Come fight night.
I know Turkey is in your corner, but look, it's gonna be very difficult. He's gonna be so mad that day. Believe me.
I see you. I see you. You see, I'm different.
I see you too.
You see, I'm different than all the others.
No, I see you. No, you don't know different. You're nothing different.
I'm different.
Nothing different.
I'm different. You're going to see.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it there, but those are two of the best.
We'll see. You're not different. You're not different. I'm different. Trust me, I'm different. You're not different.
That's the only thing. They're so chill about it, but man, I'm excited for that fight.
Yeah, the thing about those two is that like the promo is gonna suck because none of them are a heel.
Yeah.
Like
neither
really,
one of them.
right? Like
nobody. Nice guys.
Yeah, they're both just nice guys, hardworking guys for the most part, right? But yeah, that's definitely an exciting fight, right?
Crazy.
I think Canelo's last fight was with Skull in Saudi. Right, where he won a unanimous decision. Nobody really watched that fight. I didn't watch that fight, right? Like I caught a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But the Crawford fight, I watched Errol Spence. Right. I think after he dominated Errol Spence, I was like, oh damn.
That's the thing, right? I feel like it's finally at a point where, Canelo might be teetering down a bit, and then Bud's at his prime, right? So it could be like a really, really good fight.
There's a size difference, though.
Yeah.
Right, and Canelo. I don't know. I'm rooting for Bud because
underdog.
Well, one underdog and one the way that he is, man, and the way he handled Errol Spence, and even he's kind of like one of those dudes, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, just watching the way that he performed around the ring, I was like, damn.
Yeah,
like that fight made me a fan of his.
Yeah,
right? And Canelo's been around for a long enough time, right? Like
more of a tactical style fighter, though. A lot like Mayweather, I guess you can say. Canelo.
Yeah, I mean, when you win enough fights, you're just fighting not to lose.
That, yeah.
You're not fighting to win.
For sure.
That's what ends up happening.
But this one's on Netflix, too.
That's what's going to be massive.
Yeah.
Like, you guys remember the Jake Paul fight? How many numbers it did? Like, it basically broke every record.
How it kept freezing.
Yeah, I kept flagging.
Like, this fight's way bigger than that one.
Yeah.
Like, name-wise, they should figure out their server issues.
I mean, honestly, these two need to do a better job promoting that thing because if they do, It'll go
The
big.
promos are all going to be like that, though. I'm
Yeah.
going to beat you.
I'm gonna lean.
Watch, I am.
You
gonna beat
watch.
you.
I am the best.
You're not the same.
I am different.
I am different.
Trust me, I'm different. But,
I'm taking the belt. Yeah, too far.
Right.
Nobody left.
The Lakers. You know about the Lakers?
Yeah.
Sold for a record $10 billion.
Mm.
I mean, I feel like that doesn't even really surprise me anymore.
No, a lot of these basketball teams have been selling.
It went 6. I think the
Celtics 6. Who did it for 4? The Hornets or somebody?
Yeah.
Jordan sold them for 4. The weird thing about it isn't Jeannie Buss a little bit tight with Mark Cuban? I think she is.
Yeah.
Right? And you see Mark Cuban sell his majority stake in Dallas.
Yeah.
And a little while later, you sell Lakers for $10 billion, right?
I think I don't know if that's being talked about, but people are.
I mean, how much did Dr. Buss buy it for? I feel like it was like 30-40 million.
Yeah,
it wasn't anywhere like crazy, right?
Nothing comparable.
$10 billion.
Yeah.
That's insane that
Yeah.
a sports team can go for that much.
It's crazy,
That's, like,
right?
astronomically greater than what Boston went for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost double. But the Lakers have to be the most expensive franchise in basketball.
Now they're the most expensive in sports history.
Yeah.
$10 billion.
And the owner of the Dodgers who bought him, right? And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
he already owned a minority stake in them.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He just bought the majority share.
I think you pull up the tweet of I think Magic Johnson, Luka both chimed in, and Magic was pretty much just saying that she's witnessed him, or Mark Walter took over, and she witnessed him buy a winning team with the Dodgers, and he knows
what he's doing, basically.
Yeah. And then you got Luka over here. Lakers are an amazing organization. I'm excited to meet Mark and work towards the future and look forward to winning championships with both of them, right? So, doesn't seem like either party's that worried.
No,
there's all this excitement because obviously you saw what they did with the Dodgers, right?
Yeah.
And Mark, I think Magic's a part owner there too.
Yeah, he's a part owner with the Dodgers, and they gave Ohtani the bag, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's
So
not like
Luka's
they won't
trying to get that bag, too.
I don't know if it's Luka, but it's not like they don't have the money to spend, right?
Yeah.
That's all it is,
So
right?
he's gonna come in, spend money, and it's a good franchise to have.
Yeah, I mean, but to me, like the thing that nobody's talking about is
Mm-hmm.
why is everyone selling out on these teams, right? These people that have had them for a long time,
Forever.
right?
Yeah.
It's because they don't know what's going to happen with the streaming stuff.
Yeah.
They don't know.
They don't know the streaming deal, and overall the ratings. They keep just acting like everything's fine, but I don't know. We all know the NBA brand is kind of struggling.
Even the NBA Finals, like I enjoyed watching that basketball.
Yeah.
But if somebody can Google this, I think it's one of the lowest NBA Finals ratings
I think I
in
read
a
about
long time. Like
Makes sense, man. Too
right?
small market.
Too
team.
small, and that's why people always say, like, you know, the Lakers doing well, or the Knicks, or the Celtics, doing well in basketball, like it matters, right? But then, I don't know, man. Like, if all of these people are selling their teams, there has to be something there that they're
Cuban and
like,
Boss, those are little names.
they're big names, right? People who they're
My
big
whole
names.
life they've been owners.
They're big names in the sense that they enjoy owning the team. It's like family ownership kind of situation,
And they're
right? And they're getting out. So
Yeah, this year it's the lowest TV ratings of any finals held outside the COVID bubble since modern tracking began.
wow, damn,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so there you go, right?
Yeah. So, should we move on?
Yeah. What else we got?
We got LeBron again.
Oh,
He has a problem with ring culture.
Yeah.
I think we have a clip on it.
A ring is a team accomplishment. Right. And if you happen to have a moment where you're able to share that with your team, that should be discussed. I don't know where it started. It's just it's a long conversation, especially when it comes to me individually. It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport. And why it's the A-all, B-all of everything. Like, okay, you weren't a great player if you never won a championship. It's like, you sit here and you tell me, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, are fucking wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys is because this guy won 1 ring or won 2 rings or won, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has one ring. They don't never discuss that in their sport.
Right.
A ring is a team.
Yeah, the
Peyton
Denver
does
one.
But what do you think of that?
Okay, so I saw all the takes on this, right? I saw a bunch of players, Gilbert Arenas, I think T-Mac, they're kind of saying like, T-Mac said that if you replace me with Kobe and I was with Shaq, you think I wouldn't have won a ring, right? And then you saw a bunch of these players basically saying a bunch of stuff like that, right? Sure. A part of where you end up, right, and injuries and stuff, it all plays a part in it, right? Yeah. But that's life.
Yeah.
That's life.
You get lucky.
Right? Like, it is what it is, right? Like, and this guy, like, and he's saying ring culture, why is it so discussed? Like, I feel like in hockey, if you want to use hockey as a reference, in hockey, it's way more of a team game.
Yeah.
Right? In the sense that, like, if you have Connor McDavid, we just saw, it doesn't guarantee you a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Right? The way basketball works, right? This thing started with Bill Russell when this ring counting actually started.
Yeah.
It was 11 rings.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you saw MJ, right? And what MJ did, right? And then
Yeah.
you see Kobe has 5, right? And then now you're seeing all of these great players have so many rings, right?
Yeah.
So what the thing about basketball is, though, a Steph Curry can take over in the fourth quarter and win you a ring, right? A LeBron James can go on a tear and win a championship, right?
Yeah.
A Kyrie Irving can hit a massive three and change the legacy. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard
can hit a massive
can come
shot.
to the Raptors when your only championship, right? So, like, I saw Brian Clark's take on this, right?
Yeah.
His take I somewhat agreed with when he was like, in any sport, it's competitive, right? You compete for accolades.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If the accolades don't matter, what the hell are you competing?
What are you doing?
Right?
Everyone's just playing for participation medals, or like, what's going on here?
Like, a part of me is like, so I understand all the players having their takes, right? And I'm not saying that, T-Mac's not a great player.
Yeah.
Right? But Kobe won his ring. Why Kobe's so respected? T-Mac's like 6'8", 6'9", right? Kobe's a 6'6" guy.
Yeah.
He's an average, like, to us, he's huge, right? But he's an average dude. He's not overly muscular. He's not, extremely athletic. Yes, he is. He has like a somewhat of a vertical and all that stuff, right? But Kobe was a guy who put in work.
Yeah.
Right? And why people become a fan of somebody like that, it's like being I don't want to say average dude, but according to basketball, like, LeBron's a freak of nature, a super
He's
athlete.
supposed to be,
right? Like, when you're like a Kobe type, you put in so much work that your will gets you to that championship, right? And like, and LeBron saying it is like, to me, I've always felt like he wanted to ride off in the sunset by winning a ring and be like,
how many times did he say, I'm chasing the ghost of Michael
Chicago.
Jordan or whatever, I need 6 rings, yada yada.
What's your take on it?
Not 7, not 8, not 9. This is coming from him specifically. Like, you chased rings, bro.
Yeah.
You made a super team.
Yeah.
You went there, 6, 7. Why did you want 7?
Yeah.
Because you wanted one more than Jordan, right?
Yeah.
You've been participating in this ring culture thing forever, right? And see, like, the other sports he compared them to, they are team sports, just like you were saying, NHL and the NFL. I think they're in a way that, like, a centerman in the NHL can't just dominate the game. Theoretically, but it's probably not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
You can just score, like, drop 40 the way you can in basketball. Basketball, you can kind of do that.
Yeah.
Right? You can dominate.
Yeah.
But it is weird because it's specific to the NBA.
No, well, the NFL with quarterbacks, right? That's why rings and Super Bowls are counted with quarterbacks.
But those are great teams, even Brady's team.
Those are, and Brady made them great players. Brady would take players who were nobody's ever heard of, wide receivers, and turn them into superstars.
I mean, in Braun's defense, the 09 team, I think it was. Was it 09? Eric Snow and like...
Oh, what are you talking about?
Bad team.
The Allen Iverson?
The first one.
His first Cavs.
Yeah, Spurs. And one of the Cleveland.
Sure, but who blames him for losing to the Spurs there? Nobody, right?
Yeah.
When he ironically created a super team, when he was ring chasing, right? He lost to Dallas.
Yeah.
Right? And so Like, and he's the one that's and he propelled this, right? And to me, well, I don't know why nobody else is talking about this. I just saw a person who's been chasing ring number 6, 5, and 6 for a long time because he wants to tie and beat Jordan. And then now he knows that, that's probably not going to happen. He's like, oh, what's the other way to beat this? Let me just say championships don't matter.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and nobody's saying that role players are better than superstars, right? Nobody's saying that the 7th, 8th man on a championship team is better than Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady. Nobody's saying that, right? They're saying they're comparing Tracy McGrady to Kobe.
Yeah.
They're comparing LeBron to Jordan.
Yeah,
they're comparing Magic to Iverson. You're not comparing scrubs to scrubs. You're saying a guy who almost got it done versus a guy who got it done.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are we doing? Like, you can't take away the accolades and be like, those don't matter.
Exactly. His take's kind of crazy, one being who he is, right? It's contradictory as hell, right? And then secondly, nobody forgets about an AI. A great player, even if you don't win, you make it to the Hall of Fame, you get remembered. You just flat out forget something.
You think AI is not one of the best guards in the game? Nobody argues against that.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
Right? But because he's a skilled player, Michael Jordan went to 6 finals, won 6 championships.
Yeah.
Right? LeBron went to 8.
Yeah. More than that. I think
8, 9? 9, right?
Or 10. I don't know.
No, I think it's 9, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, he lost. So, like, I feel like he couldn't get it done, and he had the opportunity to get it done. Right. So, like, by his logic, why don't we eliminate his rings? If you eliminate his rings, if you're talking talent for talent, is he better than KD? If you eliminate the points, like, let's just eliminate it all, LeBron. None of it matters. The 40 million points that you're trying to score, all the assists, all the records, they're all just garbage. That's just who has the best jump shot, best handles, who's the best.
Yeah. Nobody's going to watch, man.
Right? What the hell?
And the last thing we got here is the repeat NHL champions. We got partying out there in Florida.
They don't even like hockey in Florida.
They dented.
Seems like they like it.
They dented this cup like right after they got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on that balcony it was dented. This is the thing. He did the Wolf of Wall Street. I ain't effing leaving.
Oh.
And then Brad said the same thing. Yeah, so at the end there, he did the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not effing leaving. And then Brad, somebody was asking him, they're like, resign 2 more years. He's like,
4.
Yeah. So this team wins, and I think obviously they're in the dynasty. I'm a hater, and I'm saying they're in the dynasty conversation. How the hell are they not?
Yeah, I mean, Stanley Cups matter, even though LeBron thinks rings doesn't matter. But yeah, it's really hard to win back-to-back Stanley Cups, man. It's not an easy thing to do.
And this team's built to do it again.
Yeah.
If they keep that core together, and now us as Leafs fans, we're banking on, are we going to get Bennett, Marchand, or both? And they're both like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
It's not great news to hear.
Yeah, I mean, do you want them, though? If they
don't want to be there.
No, man, you don't want them, man. We're not thirsty for that, man.
But yeah, I don't know how the hell these guys did it again.
But yeah, I think that's enough about the Panthers, right? That's it for sports. Let's move on to off topic.
All right, so we're going to start with Nick Cannon.
Okay, so Nick Cannon, he has 12 kids, just a refresher, by 6 different women. So maybe that might be a little hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
Recently, he was on a podcast with Bobby Altoff, and she asked him to name all 5 of his kids, and this was the clip.
Label off for you. See, let's keep me honest. There's Rock, Rogue, Golden, Powerful, Rise, Onyx, Legendary, Zion, Zillion, Zen.
Damn.
And
only one of his kids named Zen.
How many got?
You're missing 2.
I'm missing 2. And then I would say,
I know who's his least favorite.
Yeah, like what if those 2 feel so bad? Like,
12 kids.
Yeah, it's hard to remember names.
They're his own children.
Wow.
Also, they don't have like typical names. Like they're not Don.
Yeah, one of their names was Zen.
Yeah,
I met the little
Zillion.
Oh.
I'm gonna be honest.
One Zin is the other one.
I think it was Zin, like those Zin.
I heard like Zil, Zin, Zim, like he was saying a bunch of sad names.
Yeah, one's like legendary.
Yeah,
yeah. They're
Powerful.
Yeah,
no way. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're tough names, I guess.
But still,
I'm sure he helped name them. His kids.
Okay, to be fair, like I forget dates and things now.
Not your kids' names.
Because if you have 12 kids, right? Like it was a lot easier to remember certain things. I'm not trying to. I guess I am trying to defend him.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like.
Yeah, but like it's hard to remember things. Like I'm sure he knows his kids' face.
Yeah. Like maybe 12 kids, right? 6 different baby mamas, you said?
Yeah.
So he's probably not seeing all of them all the time. Maybe some of them live close to him.
But he should
so you guys are
still
siding
know
with him?
Not siding with
names
him,
are.
understanding.
Like even before this in the clip, he was like, you can't even name 12 states. You can't even name 12 this. Like he was kind of saying that he doesn't know it.
He's prepping her. He's like, I'm about to not know that.
That's very different. Like knowing 12 states is very different than knowing the 12 names.
It's pretty bad, man. How the hell do you not know your kids' names?
Yeah.
My mom is one of 12, so I'm hoping my like nani nana all their kids' names.
Does your mom know all of her siblings' names?
Yeah, I know all of their names.
Okay.
Thinking about it, like,
yeah,
come on,
it's ridiculous.
I have more than 12 cousins. I know all their
Like
names.
devil's advocate, they were all in one home. This is 6 different homes.
Yeah, but it's like your uncles, your cousins. You remember their names, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Even if you don't see them ever.
Yeah.
You know their name.
I can never see them and know.
Yeah, but if I said name 20 cousins right now, you
I
have
could do it.
Yeah.
No, I know. You guys seem really confident. I'm asking one person.
That's cousins.
I don't know if I could do
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different. You should remember.
Yeah, you should have known.
Yeah, you
remember
should.
their birthday.
Our consensus was you should have known that.
You should have known, man. 12 kids is a lot, though.
That's a lot of kids. A lot of child support.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of flights. Imagine Christmas. Like how many flights this guy probably has to take. Well, if he wants to see them.
How many presents under how many trees?
All right, let's move on. So there was this woman in BC. She's 84 years old, Janet Henry. She left the bulk of her $1 million fortune to a male escort.
My god, I just read that.
Oh my goodness.
So now her niece and nephew are trying to like go to court for it to see that she was under like influence because the timeline of how her will got moved over was really weird. It happened like within the same year, within a couple of months, then she died.
Yeah.
So then this like male escort was, I guess, keeping her company during her last months of life. So then she changed it to his name. So it's $1 million.
Yeah.
Like not a little bit of money. But what was weird is when I was reading the article, so before it was the escort, she had left it to like a friend / trainer. So it was never really like a child. Like it was like she had just like left it to somebody. Now but now this niece and nephew are coming.
They're like, no, it's ours.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel. I feel
stupid.
I feel like maybe she didn't like her kids.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Like when I was reading the comments, they're like, maybe she just didn't like was really happy.
Or maybe she really liked this escort.
I mean,
there's a 54 year age difference between the guy and her.
Remember that one time we were somewhere on vacation? We saw a couple that we were like, "What the hell's going on here?"
That was so weird.
Yeah, that was so weird.
Was hired.
Yeah, what do you think this situation is? Right?
Yeah, but she's not leaving him $1 million. I don't think.
Who knows?
I think that was just a vacation.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think the kids have any right to that money?
It's not even kids; it's her niece and nephew.
Oh.
Yeah, you can.
Well, the lawyer is granting them
some.
No, not granting them money, but letting them open up a case just because of the timeline.
Yeah. If they're gonna argue that she was somehow coerced or like something happened,
they could probably do that somehow.
They can try to argue it, but you never know, right?
I mean, if she wrote that shit in her will, what are you gonna do?
Court. That's what court's for, right? That's what you're gonna do.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to Justin Bieber.
Oh no.
He back.
Oh no.
But you know, Justin Bieber hates the paparazzi, right?
Yeah.
Every time he sees them, he's like yelling at them. He's like mean mugging
I know
them.
what this
So
is.
he recently had this crash out in front of paparazzi that were waiting by his car. So this is the original video.
I'm a husband. You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it? I don't give a f if you're on the sidewalk. I'm a human being. You're standing around my car. At the beach. You know what I'm saying? You don't think I'm a real f***ing guy, do you?
Oh my god.
You're gonna think that I'm a husband.
He's a real guy.
So this went viral. Like
yeah, I saw it everywhere.
making memes of it. People were making remixes of it. And then Justin Bieber, I guess has a sense of humor. He started reposting some stuff. So this is one really popular remix of it.
It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business, is it?
He posted it.
Yeah.
He reposted it?
Yeah, he posted it. That's pretty funny. Well, at least he's having fun with it. That's jokes. I saw so many of these, man.
Yeah.
Right when I saw it, I'm like, somebody's gonna make a song of that.
Yeah.
They used to do that a lot back in the day. Any little something. What was that? Hide your kids, hide your wives. That was the whole thing.
Now they just turn them into gorillas. Or babies.
Yeah. Well, this is. I hate how he always says that he hates the paparazzi and then he keeps talking to them.
Yeah.
Just stop talking to them.
Or yelling at them. Stop acting crazy.
Don't
in front of
interact.
them.
If they want that.
They want. You're gonna be a meme.
It's like, how do you not know that's gonna happen?
He knows that.
He's tired of the negative press, but at the same time, like,
Haley's
what are you
really
gonna
so fed up, yo.
I feel like they're going through it. Like, I'm really hoping. I don't know them. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping they're not getting divorced. But it seems like they're really going through it.
Well, he seems like he's going through something.
Yeah, somebody needs to take his social media away. Yo.
Yeah.
He's always posting unhinged.
Crazy
Father's Day was weird. Like, she wrote something weird.
Because on Mother's Day, basically, she put a post and then he commented, "Mother's Day sucks ass."
And then so
What
she wrote
the
that.
hell? So
and then she
weird,
wrote
right?
it to him on Father's Day.
Yeah, and then
But I don't
she
know if it's just like
commented
an
the same
ongoing
thing.
joke.
Is that
Father's
their
Day.
nice little
But
joke?
it's weird.
That's a nice joke. Well,
Tweet
I'm
it.
not going to try that.
I'm just remembering Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds always shit on each other. During, I
and
know,
look
like,
at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, they're together still.
Happy. They have
Yeah.
4 kids. Like,
Yeah,
are
but
they
they
happy?
tried to like hijack this movie and stuff.
Oh,
okay,
didn't that
the case fell
Yeah,
through,
didn't it
right?
get dropped?
I read that.
I think a part of it. Do you know?
Yeah, the one against the New York Times got dropped. I think he's still pursuing the other thing.
Wait, he has like a defamation lawsuit on them or something?
Something.
I don't know.
The New York Times.
I got so bored of that case.
Yeah. It's been drawn out.
Yeah. I thought it was.
So last story, I think we need to mention Jagmeet going to.
Yeah.
Here we go. Super fan.
So yeah, Drake called him a goof.
Look at that. Honored. Thanks for the follow.
This was like a couple weeks ago.
Years apart.
Yeah.
Years ago, yeah. when
Yeah,
Drake
and
called
then he apologizes for going. He's like, I was just there for SZA. I was born in the city. I shouldn't have gone. Man, own it.
Yeah.
If you're
He
gonna go,
folded
own
so
it.
quick.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a grown up.
To Drake.
Father. Drake is younger than you.
Not clocking to it.
It's not clocking. It's not clocking.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a grown ass man, right? Like, if you want to go to a SZA concert, go for it.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to, like you guys saying, explain yourself to anybody, right? But at the same time, I don't know. Like, if
Do you want Toronto to hate you?
you're overthinking what people think. What the hell is wrong with you?
So many people clearly don't even care. They were at the concert.
They're at the concert with you.
So
Yeah, and we had this discussion last week.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people are going to be fans of whatever they're going to be fans of. You're not going to be able to stop them.
But it's the fact that this man wanted to be the prime minister. And then Drake calls you out and you fold right away.
Like, what were you gonna do in front of other diplomats?
Yeah.
He was going to do what Carney does.
Like,
We need a good leader. You're a good leader.
Well, he was a flip flopper, like even
Yeah.
throughout his campaign. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not
That's always been the
surprised.
criticism of him, right?
He should have known what he was doing.
Bro, right when you read that, I went there for SZA, not.
Yeah.
God, this guy's lying.
I'm like, yo, even if you went there for Kendrick, just be like, I'm a fan of Kendrick. What are you going to do?
What is he gonna do?
Right? Like,
just text him back, be like, "You're the goof."
Yeah, but he is a goof for putting up that. I went there for scissor. You're a goof.
I thought Drake was hilarious though for saying that.
Like, you're a goof.
He would have got railed anyways because he's a grown ass man at a Kendrick and SZA concert, right? And the way that he's looking back in that picture too, like, oh, shit, I stopped. Why are you even going if you're that insecure about your decisions? Like, what are you doing, right? Like, nobody's gonna tell me what I'm a fan of.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of whatever I feel like.
Kendrick and SZA concert, I'd be proud of it.
I wouldn't be proud of it. But get away from me. My whole problem with that whole situation is still, if you want to go, go. I just hate the people that like to pretend that they're loyal to Toronto and they're Kendrick cultural.
He's not standing on business.
Like, pick one, right? It's not clicking.
It's not clocking.
It's not clocking. It's not clocking. It's not clocking.
You got to stand on business.
Yeah.
Move on to the question.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to the question segment. So we'll start with guess.
Nothing.
Guess the top 5. So this category will be guess the top 5 highest grossing TV shows of all time.
All time.
Friends.
Simpsons.
Yeah. So Simpsons 1, Friends 2.
Family Guy.
No, Family Guy's not
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. That's
No.
Yeah.
Just think about something that's always on.
Yeah, that's more.
Damn.
You guys are really
You guys
good
are
at this.
We like to watch.
Are they all sitcom?
Are they old? Is it old?
Not
Is
a
it
sitcom.
No.
How
Not
Much
a
Your
sitcom?
Mother?
No.
Sopranos?
Like a
Breaking
Netflix
Bad?
Frasier?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones.
That is on the list, but it's not 5. Like
What?
it's number 8.
Oh no.
It's a
this
top
one
10?
Is kind
Top
of
5.
we're doing
HBO?
top 5.
Hmm.
It's kind of like Authority, long running.
Law and Order.
Oh,
Yeah.
SVU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
that's
SVU
number 5.
specifically?
Okay.
Yeah.
Big fan?
No, there's like 40 Law and Order.
Yeah,
Is it SVU specifically?
yeah, that one.
I just wanted to know.
Because
That's
that's the one I watch.
That's the only one I've ever watched.
All right, we killed that one.
Yeah, you guys
That
are
was
great.
easy.
You answered one, but you got SVU.
Okay, and we'll just end with would you rather.
All right.
So would you rather always know when someone is lying to you or always be able to lie and have people believe you?
Oh, that's hard. Yeah. Huh?
Oh, nothing.
She laughed and she's like the second one.
Wait, I forgot them already. Lord. Something about lying.
You're
I
gonna
was
say it
intrigued.
again. He's still not gonna know what the hell you said.
So you either you always know if someone's lying to you, or you can lie to anyone and people will believe you always.
Lie to anyone, they believe you always, or you always know they're lying.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
You're so stupid.
I wouldn't want to know if someone's lying.
It's a curse, man. It's a curse because people lie to you all the time,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
You're
like,
gonna
imagine
find out
somebody
too much
being like,
You
yeah,
write to your husband,
Okay,
like, "Do I
okay.
look nice?"
I
I'm
wanna-
like, yeah.
You're lying.
No. I want nobody to know I'm lying. That's one of the choices, right?
Yes.
it's not even a choice.
That was the second
Yeah,
choice.
yeah, yeah.
That was the
That's
first
what I
thing.
said.
That's a would you rather.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
knows I'm lying
Being a good
because I can use that to my advantage, like when I'm like buying a house, something like that, negotiating.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think it's a better one.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
I'm
I think we all agree.
Yeah. I think
You
with
want to be
that.
good liars?
No. Well, I guess we're all liars, right? Yeah, with that, it's a wrap. Remember, we're not experts at everything or anything, really. You guys should always do your own research, and we'll catch you guys next week.
Take care, everybody.